Greetings from Cybertron. This is SoundJack, here with another SoundJack's Rambles, and today I am here with Alyssa.
Hey, back again, back in the saddle, ready to go.
Oh, she's been here so much. I'm sure you got so much Alyssa saturation going on. That's probably going to end up changing shortly. It's just we had a lot to talk about together, so...
Yeah, hopefully everyone in the comments and everyone who's watching appreciates me or likes me or thinks I'm good at what I do, hopefully.
Yeah.
Any feedback is always, appreciated.
Yes.
But
and for
hopefully, you won't have to hear my voice too long if you don't like it.
Yeah. And for me as well on the feedback. But anyway, we are here today to talk about RWBY. That is RWBY, the show produced by RosterTeeth. In case you were confused that we were talking about some other RWBY, like, I don't know, Pokemon RWBY or something.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff with RWBY.
Yeah.
Just the name. Or maybe you thought we were talking about the color or the gemstone.
Yeah.
Either one is also a possibility.
Yeah. Yeah, but today, we are talking about the online anime show RWBY. Like I said, produced by RosterTeeth, and we are talking about because its 5th season has just started.
Yes.
We have not seen it yet. To be clear, we are not doing any Volume 5 spoilers in this episode because we are not fully paid RosterTeeth people, so we haven't seen it yet.
We are cheapskates.
Yep.
Cheapsteaks. I don't remember how that word's pronounced.
Cheapskates.
Okay, there you go. What he said.
Yeah, but
not what I said.
Yeah, but it's going to be available for public consumption, general public consumption, this coming weekend. And since Voltron was last weekend we decided to talk about that last week. So this week we get to talk about RWBY, since technically for us it still hasn't come out yet, and we're still anxiously waiting for its premiere.
Yep. Yes. Also, fun fact, we recorded an episode of this while back.
Yeah.
And that we're basically re-recording this episode mostly because the format's changed and there's just a lot to talk about, so we want to make sure it's more compact and not as...
Yeah, and...
You can't see my gesturing, but I'm just, making circles with my arms.
Yeah. Yeah, last time we definitely, overemphasized talking about what happened in the show. Mm-hmm. And going off of that, let's transition into talking about what the show is about, in case you don't know what's about. So, Alyssa, Can you give us a very brief, very, very brief summary of what RWBY is about?
No pressure. Sure. So, RWBY is a sci-fi, cyberpunk, I guess would be the genre, American anime that's based in the world of Renman. That's, the universe it takes place in. And it features, and on this planet, there are these hunters and huntresses who fight against creatures of Grimm, which are these awful... negative energy beasts that are based off of, creatures fairy tales and stuff like that. The story centers around a team of 4 women or girls, I guess.
They're still in high school.
They're still in high school, technically. I think they're all either 17, right?
They were 17. They were 17
when the show started, but I think
except for RWBY.
Except RWBY, who's 14 or 15.
Who was 15. She was
15.
2 years younger.
Okay.
Over a year is probably past at this point, so...
Yeah, so, probably age, but, in that age range. Anyway, Ruby Rose is the main character. Her name is spelled like the actual color or gemstone, not the title of the show. That's 2 different things. She is, as we said, 14 years old, and she wields a big scythe. 15, and wields a scythe, and she's this naive girl who gets tossed into this school ahead of people. There's Vaishni, who is the heiress of the Shni Dust Company, who is a big company that basically deals in dust, which is the universe's form of energy that they use for combat and for mostly combat. And also energy.
Well, for everything pretty much. That's their fuel, that's their That's their ammo. That's their electricity.
Yep. Everything's powered by dust. And then there's Blake Belladonna, who is very mysterious. I won't say why, or what she's doing, because spoilers. But she's she does some things, and she has a very mysterious aura around her. And then there's Yang Xiaolong, who is Ruby's older sister, and she is a punch first, ask questions later kind of gal. And she also does some investigating on the side at clubs and stuff. And
together, their names make up the team name RWBY, RWBY.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And so that's basically the summary, and they basically go to this combat school, and, stuff happens. There's a mysterious force in the shadows, led by Cinderfall, who's this lady out for power, and that's where I'll end it. I think that's all you really need to know, without me giving away major plot points.
Yep. But, very cool show, very fun inspirations for a lot of the characters.
Mm-hmm.
It's very fun. I think they've described it as a Magitech show.
Magitech, okay.
Yeah. Because they've got mystic powers, basically.
Yep.
And where did my words go?
Bye words.
Yeah.
Have fun wherever you're going.
Yeah, kind of one of those kind of students going to a combat school and having to fight off a massive threat type of shows.
Yeah, very much shonen anime kind of setup in a lot of ways. So if you are into shonen anime, you probably already know what to expect as far as the tropes, I suppose.
Yes.
Quote unquote.
But how did you get introduced to this show, Alyssa?
So, I had been watching RoosterTeeth production stuff for a while. I was really into Red vs. Blue. Not when it first came out, because that was back in 2005, and man, that was not appropriate for however old I was, me.
I thought it was 2003.
2000 something, really long time ago. But I was getting into Red vs. Blue around when the Freelancer saga was starting, I think. Maybe a little before then. But yeah, I was watching it, and then I found out while that was premiering, or while that was going on, they were premiering this newfangled show called RWBY, and I saw the Red trailer, which I think was the first official trailer for the show.
Yes.
And it showed off this cool girl fighting some wolves, and I was like, anime style and wolves fighting girl, I'm in. So that's where I started watching it. I saw it when it first premiered in 2014, I think. Was when it first premiered?
2013.
2013. So I was watching, I remember I was in high school. I watched the first episode, and I've enjoyed it and been following it ever since. How about you, Michael? When did you first start getting into the show?
I got introduced to it not too long after. It was still while the first season was still running. I was in Nerf Club because our college had a Nerf Club. And when we were indoors, we had background music for some of our fights, and they were using music from RWBY, and that's how I got introduced to that. And then I got into the show, and yeah. And for those of you that may have just started watching this and haven't seen the show, it is a show I would highly recommend watching. It is all online, so it's all free. You don't even need to pay for a Netflix subscription. You can just go to YouTube or to the RoosterTeeth page, and you can see all of the episodes for free.
Yes. That's one of the great things about this episode. It's also on Crunchyroll, I think, too. It's on YouTube.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't use that Crunchyroll often, or at least that's I don't know why you would watch it on Crunchyroll when it's on YouTube and on Rooster Teeth. But if you have,
unless you already have Crunchyroll,
if you have a Crunchyroll subscription or something, that's also a venue you can watch it through. So, it's all free for you to watch. And the only thing that you'd have to pay for would be for early access to see the new episodes when they premiere, which is if you get a RoosterTeeth First account. Otherwise, you'd have to wait a week after for it to premiere.
But waiting a week's not terrible.
No, and I think the RoosterTeeth and RWBY fandom are pretty good about spoilers. So as long as you avoid main traffic for the fandom, you should be fine. It's all good. So, yeah. I also would definitely recommend it if you're a fan of shonen anime. This is right up your alley. As a girl myself, I think that it's great to have a show that has major main characters, all females. That's really great to me and really exciting. And I would highly recommend if you want like an American kind of take on anime, this is definitely the place to go. In fact, it's actually so popular that it's actually gotten a Japanese dub in Japan, which is like super incredible because I don't think that's ever happened before. And like, oh my goodness, the Western anime that crossed the border. It has a really cool fan base. It's the show is, just check it out. Totally check it out.
Yeah.
I will say, though, the first season is a little on the slow side, I think, in my opinion. So but it definitely boosts up in quality as you stick with it, so. Yeah,
it is. It was the first season, and they did have a very small animation department. This was their first fully animated show. Red vs. Blue was mostly filmed in the Halo engine, and with only minor actual animation put into it.
Yes.
So the first season is pretty rough, and also with how the episode format, the pacing is a little not the best.
Yes.
But it's still good.
Oh yeah.
And then
yes.
And then once you get especially the beginning of the season and the end of the season are really good.
Oh.
The middle's a little and then when you get to season 2 it really gets good.
Yeah. Yes.
So just to be aware, if it's a little off-putting at first, that realize that's the case and just push through it a little bit, and then you'll be good.
Yeah.
But now we're going to get to the heavy spoilers part. So if you really don't want spoilers for this show, again, only up to and including Volume 4, nothing from Volume 5 yet. Mm-hmm. But we will be talking spoilers for everything that is available to the general public.
Yes.
So be warned if you are sticking in and haven't watched the show.
Yes.
So let's start talking about the characters. Alyssa, who would you say your favorite main character is?
Oh, I was aware that this was going to be a question asked to me because we decided on how we were going to do this podcast before we recorded, but yet still I struggle with my ideas. I guess depending on how you define main character, Penny will always have a soft spot in my heart. I really like her. I like how, how she is, how she's so like, she feels like an innocent to me, and but in the right way. Like she just wants to do she wants to be really, really kind to people, wants to explore and do what she likes to do, but because of who she is, she can't. And I don't know. I like her a lot. She's just really like sweet and like, she's definitely the kind of person like you look at and you're like, oh, how cute. But then she also is capable of like cutting your throat open,
I'm combat ready.
Yeah, exactly. And if you've seen the Matrix of Knowledge episode that came out yesterday from when we're recording this, it's going to be... Oh, true.
Because this won't be up until Wednesday, so you've just spoiled to the world that we recorded this episode Sunday, so...
Sorry for breaking the illusion.
It's okay.
Yeah, but basically, if you saw that episode that went up a while ago, I guess, I have a I'm Combat Ready Penny t-shirt on there, so yeah, she's always a really big part. I also really like Weiss. I think Weiss has gotten through a lot of changes since she first appeared. I didn't think I'd like her very much. I didn't like her very much at the beginning because I was like, oh look, a spoiled brat character, my favorite. But you really get to feel for her struggles as someone who lives for image first and nothing else, and is a pawn in her father's plans, and struggles to do what she wants to do while also wanting to be part of her family. And yeah, that really is compelling, and I think she's come a long way from how she was in Volume 1, and I like her a lot for that.
Yeah. For me, if I had to say favorite, if we're counting Penny in the main characters, I will definitely say Penny.
Yeah, Penny's awesome, guys.
Penny is awesome, and I mean, she's the robot character of the show. How could I not?
True. Hashtag completely expected.
Yeah, hashtag completely expected. But if we don't count her on the main characters, I'd go with RWBY.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Why do you like her?
She's got...
Oh,
there's
everyone.
Alyssa's dog.
That's my dog, Chester.
One Chester bark count for this episode. But
hopefully not anymore.
Yeah.
All right, bud.
But
calm
RWBY,
down.
I would say, is my favorite because, I mean, most of the show is focused through her eyes.
Yeah.
To an extent.
Oh, there we go again.
She is on the night. She is like she has grown up in this world, but she is still on the naive side. So we're kind of experiencing things with her to an extent.
Yeah, I think she works also as the point of view character for the audience too.
Yeah.
She discovers things as the audience discovers stuff, and that can be really relatable. I don't know. It's hard for me to come up with major characters I love. I love a lot of them. I don't know if there's any character that I have come across in the show where I'm like, you suck. But not from a you've done horrible things aspect, but more of a you're just a lame character, why are you here kind of perspective. I think all of the characters that have done major things in the show, I've been thumbs up towards. There's a minor character that I'll get to later that I might point out as someone that I didn't think was too memorable or important, and I was like, why do they exist? But major character-wise, most of them I'm big fans of.
Yes.
Or either I am big fans of, or slowly over time became big fans of.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was the same thing for me for Cinder Fall, actually. At first, I thought she was a really generic kind of villain. She felt mysterious, but she didn't have much going for her as far as threatening. I didn't feel she was very threatening. But then once Volume 3 rolled around and episode 7 of that volume came around, I was like, I take it back. You're threatening.
Yeah.
Holy crap. And yeah. She grew on me slowly. And now with Volume 4, I feel I somehow feel sympathy for her, which is weird. I didn't think I'd feel sympathy for her, but now I do. And I'm like, I can see that maybe she kind of went over her head a little. She's in over her head and doesn't really know what to do now. And, I think that the fact that the show is able to make me feel sympathy for someone that I still really hate, but as a character, not as a character, as a person, you know what I mean? For what she's done, that's really great, and I'm really happy about that the show is able to do that.
Yes.
Yeah. I think yes.
Yeah. Well, let's go on to the villains a bit. We're kind of
okay. Sure.
Yeah. I mean, I gotta say, for me, he's not a major villain, but boy, Roman Torchwick.
Oh my God! Yes, I love how he literally was so popular. He overstayed his welcome. I love.
Yeah,
it.
he overstayed his welcome to the point they had to kill him off by him getting eaten and then blown up.
Oh yes, yeah. He died pretty. He died the way that he should have.
Yes.
I think, just comedically out of nowhere, and
Yeah.
Yeah. Roman is really great. I think my favorite part. I think. What's his voice actor's name? Gray J Haddock.
Yeah.
He does a wonderful job as Roman. I think that's the worst part for me about him not being alive anymore. Is just that the Haddock's voice for him was just so on point, and I thought that I think his voice actor made his character work. His lines were funny, what he had to say was funny, and he felt pretty threatening. But I think the voice actor kind of sold me on Torchwick as a character.
He's based on, if you decide to plow through the spoiler warning without any consideration for yourself. He is based on a character from The Clockwork Orange.
Oh my God! As someone who knows about The Clockwork Orange, the character he's based on is a piece of I guess you should censor me right there. A piece of dung.
Yeah.
Just a real piece.
Thank you for making me need to bleep.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I have strong feelings about this character. The character he's based off of, I forget his name, but he's just like super awful in every sense of the word. So it makes sense that Roman is super awful in every sense of the word.
Yeah, and I have never even seen A Clockwork Orange, and I'm just like, wow, that's a really good interpretation of that character. I've only just seen clips of that character, but I'm like, boy, does he play that character well. Oh, yeah,
definitely.
Yes.
Also, another villain, probably more of a minor character, is Neo. I really like Neo. I think she's really funny. I think the fact that she doesn't speak is hilarious. I think the fact that I find her hilarious is also because of RWBY Chibi and not so much actual RWBY. But, man, when we talk about favorite moments, I'll save it for favorite moments. But I think there's one moment that just sold me on her. And I kind of wish that we saw her again. I don't know if we're ever going to see her again. Like, we don't know if she's dead or not. She kind of flew off into space. into the stuff. And I don't know if, like, the wiki has her listed as deceased. I don't think they do. So
I knew there was a comment that she had a voice actress.
Yes, she did.
But the voice actress was never used except for like a brief gasp.
Yeah.
So I feel like she may come back at some point.
Yeah, I mean,
maybe.
Like, the wiki puts her status as active, so she's not officially deceased.
Yeah, because we just saw her blown into the wind, and like that's an easy door for the writers to use if they need her back.
Yeah, and so I hope she comes back though, because she's a great character, and I want to see more of her.
Yes.
And I imagine that someone like Neo would be still useful to someone like Salem or Cinder, you know, like because of her resemblance. So
yes,
she could come back. It's totally possible.
Yep. All right, so we did that. So let's talk about some like minor secondary level characters.
Sure.
So, you go, Alyssa.
Well, I already mentioned that I really like Neo, and I kind of consider Neo more of a minor character. She didn't really do much as far as major plot, so I like her a lot. I also am a big fan of Zwei. Zwei's a minor character, right? Like, you can count him as a minor character.
Yeah.
He's really cute. I mean, I love dogs. As you heard, I have a dog. So anytime there's a dog in any, like, anime or any show, I'm like, I love you. And they just find a place in my heart. And Zwei is definitely one of those. And the fact that, like, you know, he just is, like, action dog, it's great.
That moment with him and with Zwei and Oobleck towards the end of Volume 2 was wonderful.
Yes. I've always wanted to have my dog become a flaming ball of terror. That's what I want.
And that being okay, and nothing that PETA could get you in trouble for.
Oh yeah, definitely not. Chester, do you wanna become a flaming ball of terror? He doesn't really seem to be interested. He just kind of is sitting around looking and wants me to let him be. Anyway, as I mentioned before, though, I know we're supposed to be talking about favorites, but I do want to talk about Cardin Winchester of Team Cardinal. For me, I felt that his character was kind of one-dimensional and a little standard. Like, he's very much the standard bully character, you know? Like, he makes fun of Velvet. There's that whole two-parter in Volume 1 about him bullying John. And
it was technically a two-parter and technically a four-parter. Because of how the episodes worked.
To be honest, for me, that's probably the two episodes that I don't like as much. Like, there are some important things and some cool things that happen in that sequence, I think. Because I think... No, that's not when John's semblance gets unlocked. That's in a previous episode.
That is.
Oh, no, it is. In that arc?
Yeah. Well, like, Pyrrha, like, unlocked it, so it was like he had the protective shield, but, like, the first time, like... Jean really used it was during the Forever Fall part of the two-parter.
Right, yeah.
Four-parter because...
So in that case, I don't hate the whole sequence, but I just thought that the Cardin was such a standard stock character. And I was like, we don't need this guy. Like, why can't he be more dimensional in his way he bullies, you know? He was, you know what I mean? Like,
he was more dimensional in his origin, though.
Yeah, yes, but still.
Because based on the Winchester, the Cardinal Winchester, that was the... He was the one that executed Joan of Arc, right?
Yes.
Who Jean is based on.
So that, I guess, but that's the only interesting thing about him. You
yes.
know, like, that's literally the only, and I feel like the only reason why...
Oh, and that mace of his.
The only reason why that character was made, or the reference was made, was because he was supposed to be the guy who bullied Jean, you know what I mean? Like, he literally only exists as a plot device, and that's it. So, and yeah, I know, like, he could come back or whatever, but... Like, I'm not clamoring for Cardin Winchester to come back. Unless he's unless they have, like, more dynamics with him, where he becomes more, like, cool or whatever. Or, like, not cool, but, like, he becomes more valued as, like, a part of the cast. Then maybe I'll be okay with him. But for now, he's just like, why did he exist?
Yeah. I doubt he's going to be coming back, though, because of just how... the series is working and how many characters they're already playing with.
Yeah, I don't think...
They don't need to bring him back, and I don't honestly see a good reason why they would.
Yeah, he just... I personally would have rather have had Jean... Like, bullies are a thing in school, right? You gotta address them, but, I don't know, make him more threatening, or make his existence more three-dimensional, or, I don't know. I just found him really boring. But the other character I wanted to mention was Ilya, who we've seen in season 4, volume 4, like, once. Ilya, you know what I'm talking about? You have, like, a really...
Oh, yeah, the chameleon girl,
yeah,
right?
Yeah. You were looking at me like I had 4 heads. I was like, Michael, she's a thing.
She appeared in one episode. Give me a break.
The reason why I think she's interesting is because I think she's going to come more into play in volume 5. Because she's made an appearance in one of the character shorts, specifically for Blake. And Blake and Ilya seem to have hinted at having a, like, greater past. Like, they were partners when they were both in the White Fang. Or, well, Ilya's still in the White Fang. But I'm really interested in investigating that. I'm also really interested in just... She seems a little messed up. Like, there's a hint of darkness to her character that I really want to see. Because, like, in the volume 4, in one of the character shorts, she was like... When she was talking about her family, like, dying in the mine collapse, she was like, don't worry, I broke all those girls' teeth. And I was like, oh crap. I saved it. I didn't curse. I was like, this girl got real serious. And I mean, I obviously she beating someone up because they made fun of the fact that your parents died is, like, you know, obviously I can't blame her, but at the same time I feel like she has some things about her that I want to know about. So I'm really interested in Ilya and learning more about her.
Mm-hmm.
Did you talk about minor characters for you?
Nope, you've been talking this entire time.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're good.
Okay.
For me, there's minor characters I want to see more of, but like I said, they're probably not going to be because of the character pool we've got now. They're probably not appearing.
Right.
Like, I'd like to see more. My favorite minor character has to be Flint Cole from.
Yes. Oh man.
Okay. The dude has the main weapon of a trumpet, and it works, and it's so cool.
Yeah,
and I'm
Flint Cole was pretty great.
Yes.
Flint Cole's great.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we know that there are 2 other members of Teen Funky, so we could see them again at some point.
Yeah, but not in a whole massive extent.
Oh, no. I think Flint Cole will always be a minor character. But, like, that's not a bad thing. Like, he's still cool.
Yeah. Besides that, do quite enjoy Sun.
Sun is good. Sun's a fun character.
Yeah. I love his weapon, though. I love that weapon of his.
Ryubang and Jinbang?
Yes.
Is that its name? I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
Something like that.
A combat stick that turns into a pair of nunchuck that are also shotguns. How is that not cool?
I hope that they have him use it more. I know why they don't, because, like, the animation apparently is really tough to pull off.
And the only one that could do it was Montium, and he unfortunately passed away.
R.I.P. We'll always miss him. Yeah, so that's probably why his nunchucks have been pretty scarce. Also, this is a little unrelated, but fun fact, I've heard some talks in some of the... I follow the RWBY Reddit, and some people have theorized that Sun's semblance is solar powered, and that like the reason why he struggled when they were fighting Ilya was because it was night out and he wasn't at full power.
Haven't we basically only seen him using his aura during the nighttime, because the only other main time was really the highway fight in Volume 2?
Yeah, I mean, like, it's just a theory, so I don't know how much water it holds. But the theory is that like he struggles more with his semblance at night than in the daytime, which I think makes sense. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised.
I mean, we haven't seen it a whole lot,
no.
But but since I brought up the whole thing about the weapons, let's transition into talking about our weapons, since the weapons are so important in this show that they're basically their own characters.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Why don't you go first? No, you go first. I've been talking so much. You should talk. Talk your mouth off.
Darn it! I was doing that to you so as I could think, because I forgot to pre-think.
I didn't realize. I'm sorry.
I mean, Crescent Rose is a wonderful piece of work with how seamlessly and smoothly transforms from scythe to sniper rifle to storage form.
Oh yeah.
As well as also loving Crow's weapon.
Crow's weapon is very good. I like that one a lot.
And especially like with the whole gearwork of how it works. Mm-hmm. And the massive tease during the first fight where we thought we were going to see the scythe form because we knew he was a scythe wielder, but they were like, no, you do not get the scythe just yet.
Yeah, that was a big tease. Rooster Teeth does a lot of those teases. I think one of my favorite weapons is Velvet's weapon. Her camera.
Yeah.
That was really cool. I like how they revealed it to us so subtly, though. Like, or it was just so sudden. Like, the first time we see her weapon is her actually taking a picture. And it's like, that's her weapon, a camera? What? And then we actually see her use it in the Volume 3 final fight, and that was so cool. I'm really happy that how that works out. And I also like how Velvet has a camera as her weapon, but she's an awful photographer. Like, yeah. That makes me...
Well, I mean, she's an awful photographer because she's focused on the weapons, and everyone thinks she's focused on taking pictures of the people.
Oh, fair point.
Yeah. But I also, in this talk of weapons, I do have to give an honorable mention to Ozpin's Thermos bat flamethrower.
You mean Ublex?
Ublex, sorry. I have to give it to a bonus shout out to Ublex Thermos flamethrower bat.
Yeah, that was amazing. When he first unpacked it and extended it, I remember I was like, what? I wasn't expecting that, and then seeing it in action was just even better.
Oh wait, hold on. What am I talking about? Of course, I don't remember what my favorite weapon of the show is. It's Coco's purse machine gun.
I remember when we were first watching that episode together, and you just geeked out as soon as you saw her weapon. You were like, "Oh my god!" And I was like, "I mean, that's cool." But you were like, oh, it was so great.
What is more? I'm trying to avoid the phrase bad.
Okay. But what's more incredible?
What's more incredible than something that compact that clearly still has all of the weight in it, since it's easily she was easily able to swing that crap around and bash out of the Grim.
Oh, look! So we avoid the bad butts, but we still have the poop involved. Good.
Shh. Did I say it? Did I?
Yeah. You let one slip out.
Darn it! Damn it! Damn it's fine.
It's okay.
Anyway, and then seeing that come out of that purse and just the unveiling, and holy friggin' crap.
Yeah, that was it was pretty good. I don't think Coco's weapon is one of my favorite weapons, but it's still really cool. Like, I will give props to that.
Yes.
Definite A+ for me. I also really, for me, I really like, I think I like pretty much all of the main Team RWBY's weapons. I think all of them are really great. I think they all showcase the personalities for the characters. Weiss's is probably one of my favorites, just because of how simple it is. It's just like a rapier with magic abilities, and
yes,
I like swords a lot, so that one is really cool. I also really like Yang's gauntlets. I think they like complement her personality and complement how she fights really well.
Yes.
Yeah. Gamble Shroud's also really good too. I don't want to forget that one.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we're going to talk on the weapons because of that. So let's talk about episodes.
Cool.
Let's talk about our favorite episodes. I did go first the last time, so Alyssa, you go.
Sure.
And talk about your favorite.
So I have a couple favorite episodes because I think there's a lot of episodes that I really like. From season 3, my favorite episode was probably, like, single episode was episode 7, whichever one where it's focused on Cinder's backstory and how she amassed her team of people.
Yes,
that episode was great because it signified a turning point for RWBY where things started to go pretty dark, and B, it was really great to see like I said, I think the best part was that we hadn't seen RWBY go this dark before, and seeing that turn was great. And also seeing like the fact that like Mercury freaking killed his father, like, oh my god.
Mm-hmm.
he's don't mess with Mercury.
Yes.
Don't do it. We saw Emerald, we saw how she got involved with Wei Fang, we saw how they planned what led to the thing with Yang and how they had him fake an injury. It all fell together pretty easily, all the pieces came together, and I just really liked that setup. And then I think it ended with a cliffhanger where, did it end with, was it the episode right before PvP?
No,
it was before that. Okay. But it was still really, I thought it was a really great way to like sort of backtrack and show us what's been going on. And it really, like I said, it was the time when I finally took Cinder seriously as a villain. Like, that was the deciding incident. I was like, dang, this girl means business.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I didn't think she meant business before, but like she didn't have that like power factor to her that I like with most villains. Like, my favorite villains tend to be ones that like not necessarily frighten me, but the ones that feel threatening, the ones that I feel like could legitimately like just have that aura around them, and Cinder never really felt like that to me up until this point. She just felt like she was mysterious. Like, I didn't know if she was actually powerful, if she was just putting up a front. Like, I don't know. But in this episode, we saw that she was that powerful and that she was willing to go as far as it took to accomplish her plans, and she was careful and very thoughtful about it and had reasons for what she did. So
yes,
that was really great. That was one of my favorite episodes.
Mm-hmm.
I'll let you go next.
All right. Even though it was a very, very, very sad episode, PvP is on my top.
Yes.
That was well constructed, well written. It really tugged at my heartstrings.
You suck! Too soon! Too soon!
I can't believe I said that.
I can believe you said that.
Fair. But that was a very good episode. Again, so sad.
Yeah. I felt so bad for Pyrrha in that episode. Like, it is not her fault, but that she blames herself. That she was like sitting there like, I can't believe I did this. How could I? Yeah. I'm a monster. And Oh my god.
You're gonna hate me for saying this, but she was definitely thinking about that for the rest of her life.
I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. You are not wrong. I can't. No, you're definitely not wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just, man. Well, excuse me.
You are excused.
Thank you. Yeah, that episode was pretty good. Oh, I have another episode that I wanted to talk about. Actually, no, I'll save this one for moments because that one's more of a moment than an episode.
Okay. Do you have any other favorite episodes, or do you want to move on to moments right now?
I don't know. I mean, like, most of the things that I, like, really like in RWBY tend to be moments. Like, I don't know if there's an episode that I'm like, I liked all of it. I mean, like, it's not like most of the time RWBY has bad episodes, but, like, a lot of the times the moments that I remember are the ones that are, like, I don't necessarily remember the whole episode, or I think the whole episode is amazing. You know what I mean? Maybe I really liked, what was it? Yeah, we'll just move on to favorite moments unless you have a favorite episode.
All right.
Another one.
I'm good.
Okay.
I finished what I wanted to say on episode, so you can go ahead.
Okay. So one of my, again, this is all sad stuff, but one of my favorite moments has been from Volume 4, episode 2, where Jean is practicing in the woods and RWBY looks in. That, look, it's sad, but, like, I can't explain to you how, to me, that was such a powerful moment because, like, I don't even know how to describe it, but, like John doesn't say anything, but you can feel his pain. Like, you can just see on his face, like, how tough this is, and, like, oh my, like, the fact that he's replaying those old training videos to get him, but you can I almost feel like in that moment, John wasn't necessarily playing those videos to help himself practice. You know, like, he was, but I feel like he was also doing it because he just wants to hear Pierre's voice again and see her again. And as someone who's, like, you know, like, just, like, I don't even know, like, it's very rare for me to find something that, because, like, talking about grief of losing someone is a really hard thing to capture in writing or in TV shows or anything. Like, it's super hard to talk about grief because everyone experiences grief differently, and, like, it's such an, you know, alien kind of thing that happens. I mean, it's not an alien thing that happens, but, like, how can you begin to talk about loss in that way? And this episode comes around in this moment where John is doing this, and it's probably one of my favorite ways that I've seen people, like, one of the few times I've seen something, like, actually, like, really, in a really really great way talk about, like, just show how someone confronts grief. And it feels so real, like, this idea of someone who plays, you know, old videos to, like, remember someone, you know, like, that feels very real to me. And yeah, just that moment was great, and it's so sad, but in a good way, I guess. I don't know, like, it felt right. Yeah, that was one of my favorite moments.
Yeah.
What about you?
There's so many. Where do I want to start? I mean, obviously, I think the moment at the end of Volume 2 where the invasion of the town was really cool, getting all the character moments and whatnot.
Yeah, the fight at the end was
especially
great.
with Coco.
Yeah.
We've got the first of my favorite moments in terms of chronological order has to be episode 8 during Team RWBY fighting the Nevermore and the Red Like Roses Part 2 playing in the background.
That was probably one of my favorite. Also, a lot of my moments are also probably favorite fights. I have a lot of favorite fights.
Yeah.
The Nevermore fight.
There's a lot of really good fights.
The Nevermore fight was pretty great. I think that one probably was the one fight that I was like, wow, this is really cool. I hope they do stuff like this in the future. And they do. And it's really, that
yes.
fight's really great. Red Like Roses is great. like that part 2 song is really good because it's very rock heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you on that.
The fight between Winter and Crow in Volume 3.
I think my favorite part about that is the fact that Crow's drunk during that entire thing.
Yeah.
So great. Oh, actually, another favorite moment. Crow's introduction. Amazing.
At the Crowbar.
Yes, Crow gets introduced at the Crowbar.
Which is itself a pun.
Yeah, like it's a double pun.
Crow.
I can't. When I saw that, I like paused the video and freaked out. It just was like I can't believe this. Crow is being introduced in the Crowbar. Oh my god. Yeah, but that fight was really cool. I think it was great to see Crow in action and like see how the way he fights versus someone like Winter fights and yeah.
Yeah. More awesome fights. Pyrrha versus Cinder.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I remember because I rewatched volumes 1 through 4 in preparation for this upcoming season, and when I saw volume 3 again, I really learned to appreciate, you know, that whole. I mean, the whole finale of season 3 is like a moment that I think is really great. Like it really paid off on a lot of the tension that had been brewing for the entire prior seasons and for the entirety of volume 3 especially, and just the fall of Beacon made so much sense to me as like a storyteller. Like that moment was like the moment where we were like, all right, now things get real. And you know, Pyrrha's fight with Cinder, you know, it's just like it's the perfect way for her to have gone, you know, like fighting till the very last moment. That's definitely Pyrrha. And you know, the fact that
But boy, that arrow to the ankle.
When I saw that, I was like, poetry in motion.
The crunch from her ankle as she collapsed on it, and we knew she was dead at that moment.
Because also, I mean, like, they killed Penny, but, like, up until that point, no major character had really died. And just seeing her go was super sad.
No one that appeared in the show had died up until Penny.
Yeah, true. And that's the moment we realized, well, that's the thing that happens in this anime. And Pyrrha is... Yeah, that fight was really great. And the fact that, like, she, even after her weapons were destroyed, she still kept fighting. And...
Yes.
Yeah, you know. And also, it also made Cinder into this holy crap. We have a real problem on our hands now.
Yes.
Because she's definitely a force to be reckoned with. Another favorite fight, Neo versus Yang in the train in volume 2. Excellent. I think that was that's the moment where I was like, I love this chick. I love Neo. And the reason why is just because, like, I think it was the perfect, Neo was the perfect foil to Yang, in the sense that Yang is the kind of person who uses people's energies against her, against the person she's fighting, but Neo deflects energy with her umbrella. And just seeing her, you know, seeing Yang come up to this wall of how do I defeat this person without being able to, and she can't. You know, she's so used to fighting the way she does that when she comes across like an adversary that basically is her, you know, is the anti-Yang, she doesn't know how to deal with it. And I think it was really great. I know it's really not stupid, but strange to say, but sometimes I really like to see, you know, our main characters come up to a problem that they can't overcome themselves, or they have to learn from that, you know. So seeing her lose like that, I think was good. And I guess in some ways, Yang then losing her arm was also a strong moment for me, because that, I mean, like, that was really sad, but I think it was, and also the way they dealt with her PTSD afterwards, and the fact that she's still not really over it, like, I like that. I think that and the fact that she was reluctant to put on the new arm, too, I thought was really interesting, and a really good way of trying to address the idea of the fact that, like, you know, getting that recovery can almost feel like you're not addressing the fact that she lost a part of herself, and that, you know, coming to terms with that and coming to terms with what happened to her. All of that was dealt really well, and I like all that stuff.
Yes.
I also think the Volume 1 fight between Glinda and Cinder was really good. The opening fight, I think that was a really great way of showing off, like, this is what our show is about, and, like, sort of showing these two big powers going at each other. Even though we don't know who Cinder is at this point, we still get the chance that, wow, this person who she's fighting is super strong, and Glinda's also super strong, and that setup was a great, like, overture, I guess, for all of the fights to come.
Yeah, I will agree with that. The opening fights were really good. But let us move on now to talking about background stuff. And I think we're going to end up focusing a whole lot on the music for the show, because holy crap.
The music in the show is just amazing. Like, you know, typically a lot of American shows, I would say, don't have good soundtracks to them. Like, some of them do. But cartoon shows especially, like, I don't know, I can't really think of any other shows that, like, have the kind of soundtrack that RWBY does. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that it's based on anime, and anime always has, well, not always. There are some anime that I've come across that have really soundtracks, but I think in anime, soundtracks are really important, and the music is really important. So the fact that, like, RWBY's soundtrack is so, you know, it's so iconic for it, and all of the soundtracks are, like, super great. Like, all the songs they release are pretty good. You know, I love it. I love the soundtrack. I have all 4 of the current ones on my iTunes, and I listen to them all the time. And I think the character songs are also really great, too.
And this show starts off strong with all of their music.
Oh, yeah.
Like, Red Like Rose, the first part 1 of Red Like Roses is wonderful. Mirror Mirror Weiss's song is my favorite of the preview songs.
Yes.
Even though Yang's trailer is probably my favorite trailer, Weiss's song is the song I love to listen to, and I love that they keep bringing it back and revamping it for different character beats and build-up moments. And
I think great. This Life Is Mine from Volume 4 is just... I've listened to the way the song plays in the actual episode of premieres is different. Because, like, at first it starts as, like, just a piano orchestral piece, but then after the first verse, it transitions into, like, a rock song and, like, a heavy metal song, and just, oh my gosh, it feels really great. And especially since the previous Weiss songs were not rock heavy, so the fact that it transitions from, like, a traditional kind of music to, like, a more punk kind of song kind of mirrors the fact that she's resisting her father, and symbolism.
You know, it just made me realize I never actually properly listened to the Volume 4 soundtrack.
You should do it.
I was meaning to, but it took so long for them to get it out that I just completely forgot about it, forgot to pay attention by the time it came out, and now I've just realized, holy crap, I have not, like, listened to the soundtrack in full for Volume 4.
Yeah, it's good.
And I'm surprised that I didn't.
There's a lot of good songs on it. One of the songs that's on it is Armed and Ready, which is one of Yang's songs. And the fact that it's a pun is, like, the best thing to me. Like, she's like, yeah, I'm armed.
Damn it, Barbara.
Ready. Like, you can just hear her saying that in her voice. And, of course, it's a pun. But it's also a really good song about her using that humor and that, like, sentiment to say, hey, guy who hurt, or Adam Taurus, I'm coming for you. You thought that you could destroy me, but here I am, stronger than ever, you know, armed and ready. And yeah, that song's really great. I like it a lot. What's your favorite song on the ones you listen to?
The Team Funky theme is also pretty.
Oh my gosh! I think the whole RWBY versus Funky fight is just great soundtrack, because it goes into, like, a jazz form and, like, a jazz a jazz callback to like this. I think this will be the day they do a jazz remake of Weiss's song. They do a jazz remake of I Burn. Like that music is really great. And you would think that it'd be weird to see a fight scene choreographed to that like music, but they made it work. They really did make it work. And then you hear like Casey Lee Williams doing like bebop or scat to it. That's what it's called, scatting in the background because it's jazz themed. And really great soundtrack.
I still think overall my favorite would have to be Mirror Mirror.
Yeah, the part 1.
Yes.
Part 1 is really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think all of the Weiss songs, the Weiss theme songs, have been super great. Like I don't think any of them have really been lacking for me. My favorite song for the soundtrack, I don't even know. Like I like a lot of them. I think my favorite soundtrack in full is probably, I would probably say Volume 2 stands out to me, just because of the variety of songs that they have on it.
Mm-hmm.
And Volume 3 is also a good one for me. Volume 4 I might have to listen to on full a couple times if I haven't really made a verdict on how I feel. I think Volume 1 is probably the weakest, but that I don't blame Volume 1's soundtrack for that. I don't think it's a bad soundtrack at all. It's just the weakest out of the 4.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Yeah. You okay?
Yeah, I don't even know. I just had I had a weird moment. That's all.
It's all good. Are we done talking about music though? Or
I actually was. If it's okay, I would like to move on to talking about a little bit about the animation.
Yes.
Because this is probably the first time I've ever watched an anime that's fully 3D. Like I've watched anime that has 2D with 3D elements in it, like Voltron, which we talked about last week, as well as.
Though that's another English anime.
Yeah, it's technically also based on it like Japanese anime. So
yeah, but this one's also completely produced. Voltron's completely American produced as well. That's the thing with it.
Right. Yeah, and it also Fate Stay Night, as I mentioned in Voltron, is also an anime that has 2D 3D mix. So from basically my point is you rarely see 3D anime like this, and I think they do really well. I think watching the progression from Volume 1 to Volume 4 has been the best part. Like you got Volume 1, which is obviously they're finding their footing. The animation is a little stiff. They have shadow people in the background because they can't fill up the whole areas with, so you have all these mysterious people, and then you'll know a character's the main character or someone that they're trying to point out to when you see a character who's standing there, who's detailed. Hi, Pyrrha, how you doing?
Yep.
And then Volume 2, they go from Volume 2, which is, still was much better, huge quality improvement. They have lighting's better. They have people in the town now, not just shadows. Like model adjustments. Volume 3 was probably the one where they refined Poser the most and had so much more dynamics, and that volume showed that their progression. And then now in Volume 4 they have it in a new animation setup, and that one is gorgeous. I remember when I first saw the character short for RWBY showing off the animation base, and I was blown away by how the lighting effects were, how detailed everything was, how the colors were. It felt like a massive improvement from Poser. So yeah, the animation has just gone up, and I still think I'm still really impressed by the animation. I think considering the budget and considering what RosterTeeth is, I think that RWBY is a real testament to their creative abilities and their team and how hard they work. So
absolutely. And honestly, there's not a whole lot more I can add to that than what you have put to this part of the conversation. It's just, it started off not as strong, but that's because they were a small company with a small animation department, but it's gotten bigger, better, and stronger over time.
Yep.
And I hope to see it continue to improve through the 5th season and on.
I definitely want to see them improve, and improve that animation quality, keep growing. That's always what I want to see from people like RoosterTeeth.
Yes. But let's keep moving on. We're running low on time. So, since we haven't seen Volume 5 yet, let's talk about what we want to see from Volume 5 and what we think we're going to see from Volume 5.
Yep. All right. Do you want to go, or do you want me to go?
I will go. From the trailers and the previews we've seen, we definitely know there's going to be a massive battle. I suspect there's going to be a huge, massive battle at Haven by season's end.
Probably, yeah. Especially
and
with Lionheart talking to Watts, like that at the very end of Volume 4.
Yeah.
Something's going on, and we're definitely going to see what that something is by the end.
And on top of that, we're probably also going to see the rest of the Salem Council engaged in fighting.
Yeah.
And figure out what their deals are, mainly just Hazel and Watts, because we just know so little of them.
Yeah, they only had 2 appearances in total for each of them.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Tyrion got more of the spotlight last season.
And holy crap, was he a psychopath.
He was creepy AF.
Yeah.
And I can say AF because...
Yes.
It's not an actual curse, and I'm actually just saying astral funkies.
I was just going to say as frick, so.
Yeah.
But.
Yeah, definitely, I agree with that. I think we're definitely going to see something happen with Haven.
Definitely hoping to get the whole RWBY band back together by that point.
Let's get the band back together!
Yep.
Yeah.
We're going to recreate the Blues Brothers, and everyone's going to wear sunglasses in the dark.
Yes. They're on a mission from God.
Yes.
For me, I think we're going to see... and this is probably based on more of the trailer that we saw, as well as the poster that I got from Comic-Con. We're probably definitely going to see Oscar come in more. And probably... Yep. Then Crow will probably take him under his wing.
Hardy har.
Pun definitely intended. Raven is probably going to become a major character, have some major things going on. She's appeared in the trailer, and she's also not a centerpiece, but she's one of the faces in the poster. So I think that means that we'll see more of her come into play, and that will probably that will have to do with Yang, and Yang will meet her finally, and some things will happen in that regard. Excuse me. I think we'll see. I'm hoping we get to see more of Cinder too. I want to see what she does. Because for the most part of season 4, she's been recuperating, and I mean, she took a huge blow to the eye in Volume 3, but.
I used to be a villain like you until I took a magic blast to the eye.
Yeah, exactly. And so I think we'll see her try and reinsert herself as a threat, or at least try and use her Fall Maiden powers. Also, the Spring Maiden was mentioned in the official trailer, so I think she will come into play somehow.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll see who it actually is. Maybe we won't. I don't know. But I'm sure they'll come into play at some point. Hopefully we'll figure out what the hell... Is my dog barking again? Or am I imagining things?
I think you're imagining things. I didn't hear anything. I'm
sorry. I thought I heard it. I messed up.
All good.
Okay. Back to talking about RWBY. Yeah, I don't know. I'm looking forward to seeing what they'll do. I don't know if I have any strong predictions. I think the White Fang will probably come into play more too, because I think the White Fang was more of a side thing in the previous volume. So, especially if the White Fang's still working with Salem, then they'll probably be making a bigger statement in Haven too.
I think they even mentioned in the trailer they're going to try to the whole plot is to try to blame the White Fang on the coming attack of Haven.
Oh.
Yeah, so, in which, they're probably going to be fine with, because, that's just going to encourage the tension, and then that's going to encourage the fight that we want.
Yeah. Yeah, especially since the Faunus are already Faunus and human relationships are... Faunus-human relations, I should say, are pretty shaky still, so...
Yes.
But yeah, that's what I think we'll see.
Yeah. One more thing. I can't wait to see what more lore bits we're going to get, because one thing I wanted to mention about this show that I just remembered is that, holy crap, is this thing good with its backstory.
There's a lot of lore.
Yeah. Like, there's still lots of bits and pieces, but they've been working on it and even having extra short episodes, The World of Remnants, to make sure to try to get in extra points and plot threads that would be more common sense to people of Remnant.
Yeah.
That would not like translate well on a script, or nor would they have time to properly explain it within how their episodes work. And that's a really nice way to see that, and that's really nice to get that kind of perspective, because I am just a nut for a series that gets good and deep with its lore bits.
Yeah, I think we'll definitely see more lore. I hope we see more of more stuff about the Tale of Two Brothers. I want to see how that's going to play into.
Yes.
Maybe more about the relic that was mentioned in that episode. Figure out what those are.
Well, the relics, because I'm pretty sure they're plural.
Yes, there are 4 of them. But I want to see what they are. Does Ozpin's scepter have anything to do with it? Or, not scepter, cane? Maybe, maybe not. We'll see. Because I think the weird thing is that the relics, we don't know what kind of forms they take, you know? Like, they've been... We assume that they're objects, but maybe they're people. Maybe they're something else. Like, we don't know. So, what the relics are. And I really want to see what they look like if they come into play at all this season.
Yes. But yeah, I'm just excited for Volume 5. I can't wait till
so excited
Saturday.
I really am excited for this season. RWBY so far has not let me down.
Yes.
As far as its pacing and how it works. Maybe season 4 was probably the weakest out of the... No, I lied. Volume 1 still the weakest. I take that back.
Yeah. Season 4 was a little off just because they were having to jump around all over the place to get so many different points of view going on. But that's understandable with the direction that season was.
Yeah, and honestly, I think it was set up for this season. I think this season will probably have a tighter plot, probably. Hopefully, maybe. We'll see. I'm really excited. I can't wait. I really hope... I really want to see what happens, and I've been impressed by RWBY and how far it's come and how it still manages to capture my interest, and how I remember when I first started watching it, I always thought of it as like, a really cute show, it's not like anything I could sink my teeth in. There's not much I could sink my teeth into with Volume 1, but then after that point, just build and build and build, and now there's so much to sink our teeth in, and it's a shame that we can't continue to talk about it because there's still so much we didn't really even mention. Like, I don't even think we mentioned once about like any of the characters' backstories or like how we think about them. Like, there's just so much to talk about, and it's upsetting that like we can't talk about it in the amount of time that we have.
Yeah, and speaking of which, we should probably end it there. But like, yeah, definitely ready for Volume 5. If you watch this without having seen any other seen RWBY before, highly recommend. Highly recommend.
There's a reason why it's one of the more. There's a reason why it's popular enough to have made it to Japan. Like it's pretty good. And yeah, go watch it if you haven't yet. Yep.
And if you have, go watch it again to get ready for Volume 5. You probably have less time less time when this goes up, because this will go up Wednesday, but we're recording Sunday, and I would have plenty of time to rewatch the rest of the series and listen to the Volume 4 soundtrack.
Yeah, finally. And in the comments, if you've already seen Volume 5, don't spoil anything. Don't be that guy. But, tell us tell us what you think about RWBY, whether what you think about in general, what you think about the first episode. Let us know if you want us to talk more about Season 5 as it progresses. We'll probably make an episode
after Volume 5 is over. That's what I would...
We probably won't talk about it until then. But if you want our opinions on anything, give us a shout out and we'll totally hit you up for a conversation.
Yeah. At some point. Yeah. Yeah, talk if you want us to talk about RWBY in different ways or different intervals. If you want to talk about any other show in the SoundJack Rambles podcast, or get someone else involved I haven't mentioned this with the SoundJack's Rambles. I'll be consistent. Alyssa probably will not be, because I will be talking with various different people about different nerdy things. Very likely the next podcast will be talking about Transformer stuff, and because of that I'm going to probably get someone who is more familiar with Transformers to banter with. But that's for next time. That's for the next SoundJack Rambles. And that will happen when it happens, but we'll still be on a Wednesday. I think it's probably still going to go out the coming week. We haven't hit the 2-week schedule yet. But unless the schedule is a little weird, this may be the start of the 2 weeks for everything, or maybe we're still going through a week-by-week basis for the time being. I'll figure it out. But, that's all we have to say on RWBY, so thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, please like and share this video and subscribe to the channel. You can also follow me on Twitter and Instagram at SoundJack426. Also, please consider donating on my Patreon page to help support the channel. All the links will be in the description below. Thanks for tuning in. This is SoundJack, signing off.